My wife was cheated on me and ran away with my neighbor. Now, 10 years later, she is demanding for my son back. Because I didn't divorce her. Me and my wife Lily married in 2009. We had our baby in 2010. In November 2010 while she was asleep, a message pooped on her phone and was a flirty message. I checked on her phone and it was from our neighbor. I went through every single message which included sexting, sharing some adult photos, and even had planned meetups at hotels. This was going on from the first week into our marriage. I felt like my world crumbled in front of me. I took screenshots of every message and saved on my phone. Next day I contacted my neighbor's wife Jessica and let her know about the affair. They were married for 4 years and had their first baby almost exact same time as we had ours. I confronted my wife and told her that I am going to give her divorce. She started crying and everything else, but I did not consider it. I also did paternity test on our child, son, because the affair timeline was same as conception date. After 2 days, when I come home from work, our baby was crying in our bed and Lily was nowhere to be seen. Then I found a letter of her telling that she did not love me and she had left with my neighbor and to not contact them. I knew this was coming, but I didn't believe that a mother could leave her child, was about 6 months alone and run off with her lover. I then went to Jessica's house. She had received the same letter from her husband. I felt sorry for her as she was going from postpartum depression, had her baby just a few months ago and was left alone. Also paternity test result came back and he was my son. I tried to contact Lily's family, but they also didn't know where she was and was shocked by her behavior. Her father even said that if she ever came back she would not be allowed to enter their house. They basically disowned her. Jessica was very supportive. She began coming to my home to watch kids and even breached both of her and mine. As time passed, we were like family. My son called her mom and had known only her as mom. We also decided to go on dates. We engaged a year later and married in 2013. We had our first child in 2015. We often discussed things about our exes and how we were often disrespected by them. We were a happy family. In 2018, when my son accidentally saw a picture of my ex-wife Lily picture after birth, so it included Lily, me and him, so we decided to tell him that her birth mother Lily had died in a car accident years ago and Jessica took care of him since he was 6 months old. Now 2 days ago, I received an anonymous email. I opened it and it read, "I want to see my son and want my family back. We are not divorced yet." I knew it was Lily. I showed this to Jessica. She started freaking out and asked me if I would take her back. I calmed her down and told her that she had an ugly past and I would never leave you. I would never take her back. Now I am confused about what to do. I will definitely not take her back, but should I let her meet my son or not? Should I take my son's opportunity to have a connection with her birth mother? Update. Thank you for such a response. A lot has happened since the last time. Also I didn't want to post the update as many people in the comments thought it was fake, but till this day, I am getting messages of updates, so I decided to update you all. So let's start by saying that we didn't require a court or lawyer. Some of you claimed that she would have no parental rights over my son as she had abandoned us years ago. To confirm the claim, I contacted my friend, who is a lawyer, and confirmed that she could face a heavy fine, termination of parental rights and jail. I told him about the time period of abandonment and asked what were the chances of winning in my case. He told me that if a parent fails to physically contact a child for over a year, 99% he or she is given termination of parental rights. I had a sigh of relief after listening to those words. I also joined therapy with my son so that I can tell him the truth about his biological mother. As I wanted to find out why she contacted me after 10 years, I messaged her father, who is still a best friend of mine and gives me some good advice, whether Lily contacted her family or not. Turns out that she had contacted her sister for money from time to time for 10 years, but now her sister is not willing to help her as she was asking for a bit more money. I asked him about her conditions and whether introducing her to my son would be a good idea or not. He answered by saying she just has a minimum wage job and lives in a small apartment with 3 roommates. By listening to him saying this, I felt bad for her, but she earned it. He said that she would have a bad influence on our son, so it's better not to introduce him to Lily. Next, I called her sister and asked her what their conversations were like in the past 10 years. She told me everything. How Lily contacted her only for money because after paying rent, she had no money left for groceries and other utilities. Lily never asked about my son, but only for money. I asked her about relationship between Lily and her affair partner, to which she replied, he is in prison for sexual assault since 2015. I don't know why, but I felt happy upon hearing this news. I asked her whether Lily knew about the divorce or not. She said Lily has no idea about the divorce and she still thinks that we are legally married. I asked her to tell Lily about everything, divorce, child custody, my new family, and that she has no right over my son. I told everything to Jessica and she was a bit surprised by Lily's behavior. She never thought that a mother can be so careless towards her own child. She was shocked to hear the news about her affair partner. It's been 30 days and Lily has not contacted us. Family counseling is going great and we have decided to legally adopt one another's kids. I don't think Lily will contact as her sister might have told her about her position in the case legally and that she would just waste money by hiring an attorney. If something happens, I'll update you guys. Story number 2. My GF led me to believe I got her pregnant, but I found it wasn't mine after the birth. I've been on Reddit a while and began lurking the sub when I first suspected my GF was cheating. I had hoped I wouldn't be here posting, but here we are. I, 28 meters, have been with my GF 25F for just about 2 years. The relationship was good and then she tells me she's pregnant. For the most part, I'm careful and she said she was on birth control. I was skeptical but went to an appointment. I then figured it was just one of those things. I always wanted a family so even though this was not how I wanted to begin, I was overjoyed. We're past the first trimester and I have her move in at her insistence. Insert red flag I missed, we're planning what we will do work-wise and how to set up the baby's room. She is pretty insistent she will go back to work but be able to stay home. She swears she can make it work. I go to every appointment with her. Things are still good. We're in the 3rd trimester and I make my schedule work to still go to every appointment. Up until this point, I had been at each appointment in its entirety. This one appointment, she asks me to wait so she can talk to the doctor first. I'm super concerned that something is wrong with the baby and she didn't want me to hear. I go in and the checkup is done. Everything looks good. My GF brushes off my concern over why I couldn't be there for all of it. Another red flag. We're about a month and a half from the due date and I notice her being kind of secretive with phone calls and texts. She tells me it's work and it's confidential etc. My antenna is now up so I try to get looks at her phone. She's got Snapchat and Kik. I find it strange but don't confront her. The baby is born and I'm overwhelmed with emotion. The child is perfect and things went fine. Then comes the part where they want me to go on the birth certificate. My GF becomes really insistent about it. She's constantly asking me to do it and seems way more anxious I've ever seen her. Here's the red flag I didn't miss. I don't do it. We have an argument but she stops pushing. I think it's because she knows how suspect it looks already. We're home and she has to go tend to the baby after it woke up. I notice she set her phone down to go to the baby. I couldn't help it and looked. It was still unlocked. I start looking for texts or calls. I then find a whole conversation on Kik with a guy. All the updates of her appointments. Pictures of her and the baby. Then I see it. The place she says she thinks it's his child. I confront her and she apologizes. She admits the baby could be mine or someone else, but she thinks it's mine. I demand a paternity test and leave. It's been about a week since the confrontation. The results came in yesterday and the baby isn't mine. She's gone to live with her mother. Here's the best part. It took me a lot of digging seeing as all I had were usernames she talked to him to. The father is her boss. The secrecy was for him. The boss with a wife and 4 kids in middle and high school. I found the wife on Facebook and sent her all I had including texts from my GF saying it's his. I'm heartbroken so many ways. I'm lucky in a lot of ways here, but I'm so hurt. This has completely changed my whole outlook. I'm bitter, angry and untrusting. I have no idea how to recover from this. Update. Aftermath of me discovering my GF's baby wasn't mine. I've still not spoken to her. I can't bring myself to. I'm conflicted because I still bonded with that baby. Yet I am not the father. That is painful. She still tries to contact me. I don't know if it's love. I won't talk to her. On to the guy who is the father. I told his wife. She didn't respond immediately. I found out through my ex that he lost his job. There's some justice in the world. He won't have anything to do with my ex. He blames her for the mess he's currently in. His wife contacted me over a week later. She apologized for what I went through. She was still in shock I guess. She kicked him out. I have no idea where he went. Their kids know. Everyone knows. My ex still works there but is in the process to find a new job, seeing as literally everyone knows what happened now. I'm still in shock some and still heartbroken. This holiday will be tough and sad for me. I know there's hope. I know it will get better. This shook me to my core and I don't know how long it'll take. I'm ready to swear off any relationship ever again.